recognize our significant responsibility to use sustainable mining practices that minimize our impacts on nature. Environmental preservation is critically important when working on Indigenous lands, on which many people and wildlife depend. That's why environmental stewardship is built into Skeena's business model. As we plan and develop our main project, the Eskay Creek Mine in northern British Columbia, we're considering how our operations may affect the environment, not just for today or tomorrow, but over the long term. And we're being proactive to make sure our employees and contractors follow our environmental policies and practices to safeguard the ecosystems where they work.
What sets Skeena apart from many other companies building mines in British Columbia is that Skeena is a homegrown BC company. The majority of our employees grew up in British Columbia. They live in British Columbia. As a consequence of that, they care deeply about the impacts that our company could have on the environment. Skeena has gone from being a small junior mining company a decade ago to a company today that has a market value of over $1 billion. That success would not have occurred without our strong partnership with the Tahltan First Nation. So that combination of employees who are BC residents, BC citizens, combined with this partnership with the Tahltan are key elements of why our project will be built in a sustainable way.
By going out to community events like trade shows and different things happening in the area, we're able to connect with members, take their feedback, answer their questions, and really help guide how they can impact the process and make their voices heard. This is where the project is happening and this is where the impact will be. So having community response and feedback is incredibly important so we can ensure that we do the best project we can.
We want to be involved in anything that impacts our lands. It's important to have a voice, and we ensure we have a voice. We don't really put ourselves into things that are too impactful, especially environment. And that's why we have these community meetings and ask in-depth questions about the technicalities, the engineering.
I myself am a member of the Tahltan Nation, and I take my responsibility as an environmental steward very seriously. As we advance through development, we have to meet the rigorous environmental requirements here in the province of British Columbia. But also through this work, we're also advancing the consent or Section 7 agreement with the Tahltan central government, which also brings its own requirements to the table. So what that means is our Tahltan values become part of the equation.
We built Skeena from the bottom up as a small organization to what it is today. And one of the benefits that you get of creating an organization from the beginning is to set the values and principles that guide the organization. And we have put UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, free, prior, and informed consent at the center of the values of this organization. The principles outlined in the Truth and Reconciliation Report guide the way that we do business. What that has led to is things like our environment and social design principles, which guide the design of Eskay Creek. That's based on the Tahltan mining policies. And our environment and social responsibility policy, which is foundational to the way that we do business. And the examples of that are occurring right now with these community engagement sessions that we're conducting right now. We're meeting with Tahltan members, we're meeting with Tahltan leadership to hear their views, their concerns, their desires for what this project will look like in the future.
Skeena has been represented at many events by Tahltan women, which would have been unheard of when I started my career in mining. They've been hiring Tahltan people in very influential decision-making roles since the beginning. And they also support their Tahltan employees in their own personal development and in any educational development. The need to involve Tahltans and keep them informed has never been more important than in this process with the Section 7.
As a company, Skeena believes intensely on the strong partnership with the Tahltan First Nation. That's why we're here in northwestern British Columbia, visiting the local communities, to listen to what they have to say, to hear their concerns, to get their insights, and then we take that information, we incorporate that into our mine planning, our mine design, and together, collaborating, that's how we build a mine that is successful in terms of minimizing its impact on the environment and also sharing in the benefits that this mine brings to the local communities.